In unit number 3, there are very short definitions and derivation. Main derivation in JNTU and for other exam, the main derivation is that bending equation. So it is bending equation is very important. And what is a simple bending and what is a pure bending? So if you consider the pure bending, what is this is pure bending, because if you see the shear force is zero from these 2 points C and D points. The shear force is uh, the shear force is zero from C and D points, and if you see the bending moment between these 2 points is maximum. So this condition is called pure bending condition. Means where the bending moment is maximum, that is called pure bending condition. So after that, if we see the above figure, so don't go to the theory. Just you remember that what is pure bending condition or what is simple bending condition. So where the bending moment is zero, that is called bend. Where the shear force is zero and bending moment should be maximum. So that condition is called pure bending condition or uh, simple bending condition. So between point C and D, that is a pure bending condition or simple bending condition. Okay. So next is the what is homogeneous? Material is similar throughout. So these are the definitions which can ask in the JNTU exam. What is homogeneous? What is homogeneous? What is isotropic? Material is similar throughout, that is homogeneous. So you can what is the example of this homogeneous? That is water. And isotropic, elastic properties is equal in all condition. Elastic property is equal in all condition on in all direction also. Isotropic means elastic property is equal in all direction, not condition. Elastic property is equal in all direction. What is neutral layer? So if you see this one diagram, you can see that a neutral layer, you can see this is one cuboid is given. So in this cuboid, this PQRS is the neutral layer. So and above the neutral layer and below the neutral layer, means neutral means what? The a layer which is neither shortened nor elongated against the load or bending moment or force. So this layer is known as neutral layer or neutral surface. So what is neutral layer means? You know the meaning of neutral. The neutral is a portion where we cannot apply. If you apply the force, the portion cannot be affected. If you apply the any type of load or any type of force, that portion of the element is not affected. So this is the neutral. What is the meaning of neutral? The neutral means which not be affected. So next is that bending moment. So the PQRS, if you apply the force on this, so the portion that PQRS should not be affected. That's why it is called neutral layer. So neutral layer and neutral surface, you know. What is neutral axis? The neutral axis of the beam is the axis which the bending stress is zero and is denoted by neutral axis. A neutral axis of the beam is the axis which the bending stress is zero and is denoted by Na. So this is a neutral axis. So this is the maximum compression. This is the maximum tension. So maximum compression and maximum tension. So at this point zero. So this is a neutral axis. At neutral axis everything is zero. Okay, load, compression and tension. So this is about this all the neutral axis and neutral layer. And what are the assumptions? These assumptions are also very important for the exam, because in JNTU they can ask for 3 marks. Write the assumption for the theory of simple bending. So just to remember that all the assumptions, there are 6 assumptions are there. So just to assume all these 6 assumptions. So you can see these assumptions are very easy. The material of the beam is homogeneous and isotropic. Next one is the transverse section which were plane before bending remain plane after bending also. Means if you see this component, if this component is bent in this direction, the component is bent. So what is the meaning of this assumption? The transverse section which were plane before bending remain plane after bending also. So that is not possible because of this is assumption. That's why we are taking assumption. That is the load must be perpendicular to the longitudinal axis of the beam. So the transverse section, which section is called transverse section? These are the transverse section. This is the transverse section. You can see I am showing you. This is a transverse section. So this is a transverse section. The bending of this transverse section, about this transverse section remain plane after and before the bending. So that is not possible. So that's why we are taking as a assumption. The value of Young's modulus of elasticity E, the value of Young's modulus of elasticity E is the same in tension and compression. That is also the value of Young's modulus elasticity E is the same in tension and compression. That is actually this is not possible. That's why we are taking as a assumption. So assumption means uh, so which can be assumed. So these are all the assumptions. The value of Young's modulus of elasticity is the same in tension and compression. Next one is that the material of the beam obeys Hooke's law and is stressed within the elastic limit. The material of the beam obeys Hooke's law and is stressed within the elastic limit. So maybe when you apply the load or when you apply the bending, the material maybe cross the elastic limit also. But we have to assume here the material of the beam obeys Hooke's law and is stressed within the elastic limit. Next, each layer of the beam is free to expand or contract independently. So you can see each layer of the beam is free to expand or contract independently of the layer above or below it. So there is no disturbance with the neighboring layer. So if you see this one, if you see this, if you this is one layer and this is one layer. So each layer of this beam or each layer of this section should be expand or contract independently. So if this layer should be expand independently, if this layer should be expand independently, so this layer PQRS should not affect this one. So this is where another assumption. So adjacent layer should not be affect to the layer. Next is that the radius of curvature of the beam is very large in comparison, in compression to the, sorry, the radius of curvature of the beam is very large in comparison to the cross sectional. This is a comparison, not a compression. It is very large in comparison to the cross sectional dimension of the beam. So radius of curvature. So I will tell you what is the radius of curvature. Just to see one. This one is the radius of curvature. I will show you this one. So this see the radius of curvature. This is the radius of curvature. This should very large as compared to cross section of the section. So this is the cross section. Cross section should be a square or rectangle. But this radius of curvature should be large as compared to cross section dimension of the beam. So this is about the assumption. So why are studying this bending equation for beam? Because of if you want to design bending beam, so the design of beam is basically depends on shear force bending moment, which already yeah, it is given in the unit number 2, and the another criteria is the bending of beam. So what is the bending strength of the beam? because so therefore we are studying this bending equation. So just I am going to that moment of resistance. The moment of resistance is what? This is one fixed point. This is one fixed point. Suppose this one is fixed point. This one is fixed point. So when movement, what is a movement? This will movement in this direction and this will movement in this direction. So what happen here? So this will movement in this direction, this will movement in this direction. So what happen here? If this movement of this both, if they resist by the internal force, so that is called movement of resistance. So that is Fc is the, if this movement, if this move in this direction and if this movement move in this direction, so for another resultant force acting on that resultant force resists this movement. So that is called movement of resistance. So what is the movement of resistance? And that is equals to that Fc into L. So that moment of resistance of the beam section Fc into L. Fc into L means either Fc into L or Ft into L. Means this when this starts to move, when this start the movement from here in this direction, what happen? Same amount of the resistance to be applied. So that's why we are taking Fc into L. So when you apply the same amount of movement of resistance force, then it will be stationary. Otherwise, it will be start to movement. So that's why we are applying same movement of same force same resistance, that is Fc into L. Same resistance force, that is same resistance of movement we have to apply, that is Fc into L. So that Fc into L is the moment of resistance. We have to stop the movement. What is the movement or the moment of resistance? We have to stop this movement, and we have to stop this movement. Either we have to stop this movement or either we have to stop this movement. So Fc into L or equals to Ft into L. Both are same. Okay. So that is about the movement of resistance. So movement of resistance understood. The movement of resistance, also this definition also asked in the JNTU exam. The movement of resistance is known as the movement of a couple between the resultant compressive and tensile stresses developed due to resist the external bending moment in equal and opposite direction. This is denoted by MR, that is moment of resistance. So just to see one example I am showing you here. Why I am example means if you see if you want one see one you take one example of clock. The second the second fork is always continuous rotating in the clock. What happen? That if you want to stop same amount of force you have to apply, then it will be stopped. Another another example of cycle pedal. You have to you have to apply the force on the pedal. The pedal will be moved. If you want what if you want to stay pedal should be stationary condition, then what you want, same amount of force at the moment. If you take that rest condition, if you apply the same force, if you apply the same force on the pedal, what happen? The pedal will not be moved. So just you apply one force to the one pedal and apply as compared to that force, you have to apply the less force in the other pedal. So that's why the pedal will be moved. And if you apply the same force on the both pedal, what happens? The pedal will not be moved. So this is another example. This is the moment of resistance. So that force you have to apply here. And understood everyone what is the moment of resistance? Okay. So next you have to go to the bending equation. So what is bending equation? That derivation I will share to you, and if you want if you have any doubt you can ask in the WhatsApp group, and just it is required to explain the derivation. Anyone? Harsha, Charan, Mohan Sai?
Yes, sir.
I will explain this derivation, or just you do that.
Once explain, sir.
Huh?
Explain, sir.
Oh, okay, explain. I will explain you. Okay. So moment of resistance is clear now. Okay. So next you go to the moment bending equation. The moment of resistance is clear, then you go to the bending equation. So what is bending equation? Just to see the bending equation, that is a just to take the one part of the beam. That beam is this is one beam is given, and just to take the part that just to take the portion of the beam, just the portion of the beam is A B C D, A B C D, A B and C D. Just to take one portion A B and C D. The distance between that AB and CD is a dx, and the take on one layer, that is EF, from A to from AB to between AB and CD, take one layer EF. That EF layer is what? EF layer, in EF layer, the distance of EF layer from the neutral axis. This is one neutral axis NA. So from the distance of EF layer from the neutral axis is Y. So what happened here? Y is the neutral axis, the distance of EF layer from the neutral axis, and apply the movement. So from these here, the movement is in a clockwise direction, and here the movement in anti-clockwise direction. So here movement is clockwise, here movement is anti-clockwise. So after that you can see this, and when you apply the movement, the bending, the beam, the portion of the beam should be bent in this form. The portion of the beam should be bent in this form. So the layer also, EF layer also bending in this form. So AB, so that new portion of the AB is become A dash B dash, and new portion of CD becomes C dash D dash, and this NN dash, NN dash is the neutral layer, that is neutral, and this n dash n dash, and the EF becomes E dash F dash. So E dash F dash Fy, so EF, that layer Y is, and the distance is, but the distance is same. You can see this, the distance is same from the neutral axis, the layer EF distance is same. So similar here, Y is distance, and here also E dash F dash distance also Y. So just it is a, that is the center of curvature. So the radius of curvature is the distance between the center of curvature to the neutral axis, distance between center of curvature and neutral axis. So that is a center of distance between the center of curvature and neutral axis, that is radius. And you can see this n A dash B dash and C dash D dash making an angle with center of curvature theta, with at center of curvature both layer, both A dash B dash and C dash D dash, both are making an angle theta. Okay, understood this figure? So figure A shows a small length of a beam before bending, and this is the before bending, and consider a small length dx between two transverse section. So I already told you what is the transverse section. So this is the transverse section. So dx between the two transverse sections AB and CD, and let after bending the extremities of layer remain on planes A dash and B dash. The extremities after bending, that AB is new name of the AB is A dash B dash and C dash D dash, as shown in the figure B. Let the planes A dash B dash meet at O at an angle theta. Let the plane A dash B dash meet at O at angle theta. And after that, let the radius of neutral layer. So radius of curvature, it is radius of neutral layer from with respect to this point, from this point to neutral layer radius is what? Capital R. So this is the n dash n dash, uh, Okay. So consider a layer EF at a distance y from the neutral layer. Don't consider this one. Radius, you have to consider radius of neutral layer R and consider a layer EF at a distance y from the neutral layer N dash from the neutral layer. Consider a layer EF at a distance y from the neutral layer NN. Consider a layer EF. We have considered one layer EF from the neutral axis NN, that is at a distance y. Okay. So that is distance y. And original length of NN. What is the original length of NN? That is one layer EF. What is the original length of NN? That is dx. So you have to write NN is equals to dx, and change the length of NN, that is equals to r theta. Change length of NN, that is equals to r theta. Why we are taking change length of NN? Because you can see here, this one is r, the radius is the r, and the angle is theta. So what is the length of this NN? Mu NN dash n dash n dash. What is length? Angle into radius. Angle into radius. That is arc length. So this is this you can say this is the arc. So n dash n dash. What is the new length of this NN? That is r theta. Change length of NN, that is r theta. Since NN is the neutral layer which does not undergo any change in length after bending, but takes the formation of n dash n dash. Understood? NN is, we have considered neutral layer. Now already I told you neutral layer. What is the meaning of neutral? Neutral means does not affect anything on the layer. So that so the neutral layer. So NN is the neutral layer which does not go any change in the layer length after bending, but takes the formation of n dash n dash. So NN is equals to n dash n dash. So dx is equals to r theta. Just to see this, the length of original length of NN is dx. Change length of NN when you after bending, what is the change in length of NN? That is r into theta. So just to see this, r into theta. Dx is equals to r into theta. Then original length of EF. What is original length of EF? You can see EF is also equals to NN. EF is also equals to length of NN. So that is also what happened here. R into original length of EF is equals to also dx is equals to r theta. Change in length of E dash F dash. Here is a very important step. This is the change in length of E dash F dash. So you can see here E dash F dash. So here E dash F dash. Then what is the distance of E dash F dash from the neutral layer? That is y. So what is the total distance from the center of r plus y? So the what is the distance from the center of r plus y, and what is the length of this one? Again radius into angle. So radius into angle. So r plus y is the radius for this E dash F dash, this layer. For this layer, what is the radius? R plus y, and r plus y into theta. That is the portion that is called, we are taking as r plus y into theta. So E dash F dash is equals to r plus y into theta. The change in length of the layer. Again you have to see change in length of the layer. So EF already change in length of the layer is what? Change in length of layer EF. Change in length of layer EF is what? E dash F dash final length minus original length. So final length E dash F dash minus EF. EF is the original length. So R plus Y into theta minus R theta. What we can get? Y theta. Because if you see this theta is should be multiplied by R, that is R theta plus Y theta minus R theta. So R theta cancel this minus r theta. So what we have take what is the balance? That is y theta. So strain in, then after you can easily determine the strain in layer EF. What is a strain? Strain is the change in length upon original length. So strain in layer EF is what? EF is equals to epsilon change in length of EF upon original length of EF. So y theta upon r theta. So change in length of EF is what? Y theta, and change in length of original length of EF is what? R theta. So theta theta is cancelled out. We are taking as y upon r. I think understood everyone. Okay. So
Yes, sir.
okay. So y theta upon r theta is equals to y upon r. Next one we were going to that f, like f or sigma. In some books the stress is denoted by f, or in some books it is denoted by sigma. So I am using both for you because of don't confuse about that f and sigma. So let f or sigma be the bending stress. So what is a Young's modulus? Young's modulus is equals to stress upon strain. So stress upon strain is equals to capital E, and E is equals to Young's modulus, and F upon, so stress is F and strain is what? Already you see that strain in the layer EF is what? Y upon R. So just you put F upon Y upon R. So is equals to what? F upon Y upon R equals to E. So F is equals to what? E into Y upon R. F is equals to E into Y upon R. This should be transmit to here. This is should be transmit to here. So it becomes F is equals to Y upon R into E. So after that, if you the above equation can be expressed in this form also. F, if you transfer this here, so F upon Y. So here you can transfer this F upon Y equals to E upon R. So this is the first part of the bending equation we have done. Understood everyone, I think. So next one, thus we are going to the second part. So this is the equation number 1. Just to give the equation number 1, I will share with you in the WhatsApp group. Don't confuse about that. Next one, we have to go to the second part. Second part is what? The second part is very easy. There is no some in some books it is very confusing. But if you listen my lecture, then you can easily understand what is the second part. In the second part, you can consider an elementary area dA of the beam section at a distance y from the neutral axis. At a distance y from the neutral axis. This is a elementary. This is a beam portion. In the beam portion, we have considered one elementary area. That is the elementary area. That is elementary area. This is one elementary area. This elementary area dA of the beam section at a distance y from the neutral axis. At a distance y from the neutral axis, we have to take axis as shown in figure. Then force on this area. What is force on this area? So F is the stress. If you see, F is the what? F is the F is what? Just I will write you. I will write in the screen. F is equals to what? This is the stress. So F is equals to what? F is equals to stress. So you can write F, force on this area is what? And what is the force? What is the formula for determining the force? What is the formula for stress? Stress is equals to what? P by A, force upon area. So force on this elementary area is what? Force on this, what is stress? Stress is equals to, you know, F is equals to force capital F upon area of cross section. So here F is equals to capital F upon A, that is capital F is the force. So force on this area means this area you have to find out. Force on this area. Force on this area is what? F into dA. Why? Because we are taking dA because of this area of this portion is what? dA. So that's why we are taking dA. So force on this area is dA. So next we are going to the next part. So where F is the stress induced on the elementary area dA due to bending. So when due to stress induced on the elementary area due to bending, and already you know what is from the equation 1. Already you know from equation 1. What is equation 1? F is equals to y into E upon R. So here I am writing here again. We know that F is equals to E upon R into y. So force on this elementary strip area. So what is the value of F? E upon R into Y. E upon R into Y is what? D. E upon, here we are putting F value. In this equation we are putting F value. So what is E upon R into Y into dA? Force on this elementary strip area equals to E upon R into Y into dA. So this is the force on this elementary strip, E upon R into Y into dA. Next, moment of resistance offered by the elementary area. So moment of resistance, so this is the force, this is the force. So when this is the force, so this is F, which is force applied on the elementary area. So this is force F. After that, moment of resistance offered by the elementary area about neutral axis. Then moment of a resistance you have to find out. Then what is the moment of resistance? F into Y. Why we are taking F into Y? Already I told you. This is the distance from the neutral axis. So this is F into Y. So F into Y, you have to write down F into Y. So what is the value of F? You have to see this E upon R into Y into dA. E upon R into Y into dA into Y. So just to see this, what is total moment of resistance? So what is becomes here? E upon R into Y square dA. So total moment of resistance offered by the beam section. Till now we have to see, just we are determining the moment of resistance for this elementary area only. Up next you have to determine the moment of resistance for this whole portion of the beam. Then what is how we can determine that moment of resistance for the whole beam section? We have to do integration. Already you know that. If you want to calculate anything for the whole big area, you have to do the integration. So just you see E upon R in integration Y square dA. Then Y square dA is what? Y square dA is the moment of inertia of the beam section. If you Y square dA is the moment of inertia of the beam section, and that is equals to I. Just you see this moment of inertia of the beam section about neutral axis, that is I, and M is equals to E upon R into I. So M upon I is equals to E upon R, and here but F upon Y is equals to E upon R. So M upon I is equals to F upon R, Y is equals to E upon R. So see, right hand side of both equations are equal. So left hand side also equal. So M upon I equals to F upon I equals to E upon R. So this is the bending equation, and which is based on the theory of pure bending. I will explain you Y square dA. Integration of Y square dA is the moment of inertia of the beam. If you put a Y value, if you take one, already you studied in the mechanics part, what is a Y square dA? Y square dA is the YdA is the first moment of area. If you consider integration, YdA is the moment of area, and Y square dA is the second moment of area, and the second moment of area is called moment of inertia. Okay, so I think understood everyone what is the bending equation. Okay, so
Yes, sir.
okay, so above equation is known as a bending equation based on the theory of pure bending. So F is what is stress induced due to bending in Newton per mm square. Y is the distance of any layer from neutral axis of beam section. Okay, E is the Young's modulus of beam material, and radius of curvature. R is the radius of curvature of circular arc of the beam, and M is the moment of resistance applied in Newton mm. I is the moment of inertia of beam cross section in mm to the power 4. So this is about the moment of inertia. Next part is the another 3 marks, 2 marks question is the section modulus. What is section modulus? So section modulus is that we know that M upon I is equals to F upon I. M upon I is equals to F upon I is the section modulus. So maximum bending stress sigma maximum occurs. So you can see here, which one is a constant value? Uh, See, m movement is a constant. I moment of inertia, because cross section of the beam is fixed. It means if cross section of the beam is circular, rectangular, triangular, or I section or T section, it will be fixed section. There is no change. So moment of inertia is no change. So what are the variables? You can see variables is, so these are the constant part, because 20 kilonewton meter movement you have to apply, 30 kilonewton meter movement you have to apply, 40 kilonewton meter movement you have to apply. So this is also change. This is will also for this same condition, this will not change. M is also not change. I is not change. So what are the changing? We have to change in the stress. We have to change in the Y, because this will F and Y is the variable. Why? Because if you change the distance of layer from the neutral axis, if you change the distance of layer from the neutral axis, that will be y will be changed. So y is the variable. When y is variable, f is also changed, because f is directly proportional to y, because f upon y. So f is directly proportional to y means stress is directly proportional to distance. So what happened when stress is maximum, then y is also maximum. Means just to see this, when y is maximum, then stress value is maximum. Just to see this, the diagram, what happened here? If this y should be below 1, then stress is minimum. If y is should be above, then stress is maximum. So just to see here also, this beam is bending in this form. So what? The beam is the here, which type of stress is acting? Anyone can tell me? And here which type of stress is acting? Just to see here, we have to see this. Here this is compressive stress is developed, and here tensile stress is developed, because of this is a pulling, this is pulling, and here this is compress. There is no pulling, but here pulling, and here pushing. So here compressive, in the above part compressive stress is developed, in the below part tensile stress is developed. So just to see this, you have to see this example also. So we are going to the section modulus, because that fact is very important here. So you can see here, the maximum bending stress sigma maximum occurs at the greatest distance y maximum from neutral axis of the beam. So sigma maximum is equals to m upon I into y maximum. So m is equals to sigma maximum into I upon y maximum equals to sigma maximum into z. So this I upon y maximum is what? This I upon y maximum is the z value. So this is z is the section modulus. So what is section modulus? So you can see here, the section modulus is depends on totally y, because if moment of inertia of the section should be higher, then the strength of the beam is also higher, because y maximum is the variable. So y maximum moment of inertia should be higher and y maximum should be low. Then our section modulus should be higher. So y I is the moment of inertia. So moment of inertia if I am maximum, then our strength of the beam is also maximum. So you can see Z is equals to moment of inertia of the beam cross section about neutral axis upon distance of the extreme fiber from the neutral axis. So this is the I upon y maximum is the section modulus. Okay. So here some example. Section modulus is defined as the ratio of moment of inertia of a beam section about the neutral axis of the distance of extreme fiber from the neutral axis. So think we have to close here. So I will take the note down the roll numbers, those who have joined